Hello, my dear friends, how are you doing? It's Kiki, and I just recorded a video in Spanish, but for some reason, wanted to make an English version of that video since I think it's very important for me to do it, and many people seem to struggle with the issues I talked about. So, I wanted to talk about anxiety, panic attacks, and depression, but I ended up talking about depression only. And thank you all so much for all the comments you left under my last video, talking about, what happened in my life lately. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate every word of affection and kindness. And I am so sorry to hear that so many people suffer from anxiety or depression or panic attacks or other disorders. I am so incredibly heartbroken when I hear that because you guys are so amazing and beautiful, kind, giving people, and you do not deserve that. So today I decided to make a sort of helpful video because I wanted to share some methods I use when I feel depression is approaching. And I also want to, tell you a little bit about my moment of depression. The one I had in the past. It was 2009, 2010 when I first experienced depression. I had suffered from anxiety all my life, most of my life, I mean. And I was 19, 20 years old. And I remember all of a sudden I couldn't see the colors. Like I would go outside, I would see the trees or the sky, and I could see the colors, but I couldn't really appreciate the colors. So it was like I was not seeing them. It was like a black and white filter on my eyes. And I also remember having a sort of sad melody in my head all day. And I would cry for everything. Like I would see a dog on the street and I would cry. I would cry for literally everything. And I really felt so hopeless, like I didn't deserve anything. For a long time, I thought I didn't deserve to eat also. And that triggered a very painful period of eating disorders in my life. I haven't talked about that with anybody except for my therapist who helped me at the time. Not with my family, not with my friends. I would just keep it all inside. And for 4 painful years, I struggled with that. With self-image too. I wouldn't recognize myself in the mirror. I would feel so incredibly worthless and really inadequate in my own body. I didn't like what I saw. I couldn't accept my body. I didn't feel it was mine. I didn't feel I deserved anything. And I think depression really took my mission away from me, my mission in life, my purpose. That's what it did. And I really think depression deprives you of the ability to enjoy the beauty of life. And that's why it's so incredibly haunting and so incredibly hard to get rid of. If you've read Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling explained that the Dementors are basically the representation of depression. So they deprive you of the ability to love, to be happy. They take away all your happiness. And I felt it. When I read Harry Potter, I knew that sensation. I knew she was talking about that. And then when I suffered from depression, that's when I actually understood she wanted to represent depression through the Dementors. And I also think depression is a sort of mermaid, and that chant really drags you at the bottom of the sea, and you cannot do anything to get free, to set free. And it's so incredibly sad. It's a sad illness. And what helped me was actually doing things like handcrafting. I started to make a lot of things at home and give them to my friends. maybe it would be like something really small, handmade, for example, a little box. I would paint the little box, put something cute inside, and give it to my friends. Or maybe a drawing, or maybe uh, a little handmade notebook. And I also believe that those friends who are my best friends today really learned how to love me in that period because they actually understood I loved them so much. And I was trying to say, thank you for being in my life. I appreciate you, and I want to say it with my hands, doing something with my hands. And I think giving something you made with your own hands is the sweetest thing you can do for anybody, because it really means it's something unique, and nobody is going to have the same because you made it specifically for that person. So eventually I needed to stop because some people wouldn't understand why I did that, and it was kind of obsessive, so I decided to stop. I opened my ASMR channel in that period, 2011, and I was doing better. Like, my dark depression period lasted 1 year. I rarely left my house in that year. I don't remember all of it. Um, and in 2011, I started doing better, and that's when I opened my ASMR channel, and I started to give something back to others, and I found my mission. I also like to write, and so I wrote a lot, and writing also helped me, dealing with my emotions and feeling more um, adequate. I don't know. Uh, but really, I think writing is therapeutic and everybody should do it. And it allows you to have a dialogue with your inner being and work on your own thought patterns and issues. And even though you might feel it's pointless at the moment, then it will make sense eventually because it's a process. So healing is a process and you need to give it time. It doesn't happen overnight, but eventually it happens. And it's also very important to seek professional help. I wouldn't be here if I didn't seek professional help. And the really good therapists really speak your own language, and they manage to put themselves in your shoes even though they haven't lived that moment. They really understand you. So do it. Seek help. That's the first thing, actually. And so yeah, gifts, writing, literature, escaping in another world for a while was really something which I think saved me. Because literature gives you another reality, and you can be someone else for a little while, disconnect from what's hurting you. So it's really important to do that. And also, studying. I wanted to graduate, and I studied so much. And studying really put my attention into something else. It was difficult at first, but then it was so incredibly relieving, to be doing something else rather than suffering with depression. So yeah, also connecting with nature is something I mentioned in the Spanish video, because nature doesn't love you more or less if you love yourself or if you hate yourself. Nature is there, it's beautiful, it's eternal, it will never change, and even if it changes, it's like a cycle. And it is ever so important to travel also if you have a chance, to do it in a cheap way, because in ancient times, nervous breakdowns were treated with trips. Believe it or not, they didn't have therapists back then, so it was always advised to, go on a trip. It would be like a religious type of trip, so maybe in a monastery or in a church, and people would feel healed, will receive healing through spiritual beliefs. So it is ever so important to travel if you're feeling depressed, because it can really give you back your sparkle. And try to find your mission, because what depression does, it really deprives you of your mission. And once you lose your mission in life, that's when you feel worthless and you feel like you don't have a purpose. So your inner being knows what you are meant to be doing in this world. And maybe you are an artist, maybe you want to help others, maybe you are a writer, maybe you are an engineer. And there are so many ways you can, find your purpose in life and give something back to others. So do it. And don't let depression take away your true purpose, because that purpose is there, and it's the reason why you're here in this physical reality. So I also think, have you ever heard um, that, like, superstition that if you say the Holy Mary, Ave Maria, if you say a prayer backwards in front of a mirror, the devil shows and it will follow you all your life. It will never go away, right? I think depression is sort of like that. Once you summon it, involuntarily summon it, or consciously summon it, it's going to be by your side forever. And when you're weak, it will attack you. She waits. Depression waits for your weakest moment to attack you. And it's always going to be like that. But if you have a purpose, if you have a mission, if you have something to look forward to in life, depression cannot attack you. And that's what you need to do. So in order to protect yourself from depression, you need to be your best version. You need to find the will to evolve and to change and to do what really fuels your soul. So it's really important to do that. And I really hope it was clear and I could express myself better in this video. Thank you all so much for listening, and please tell me if you want to hear more about other things I need to say about anxiety, about panic, and please share other methods you used to battle anxiety, because so many people can benefit from it. I wish I had such a supportive community back then so that I could talk to others, and you guys are so understanding and kind. So I want to thank you all for that and give you a big kiss and wish you a fantastic day. I really hope this video was useful to you, and see you very soon. Love you so much. Bye.